about to get raided too. It's only a matter of time. Bro, love and hate, now let me say I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate the way that you sneak this. If I catch flight, it's gonna be direct.
So as you can tell by those clips, Drake and Kendrick Lamar's beef has made its way into professional wrestling. Just about everyone is talking about this beef, this rap battle between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, and it has made its way into professional wrestling. Wrestling has notoriously or historically taken a lot of cues from pop culture to get a reaction from the crowd, and this was no different. Everything from CM Punk in the ring in Hartford, Connecticut, to Swerve in the ring in Canada, but it was Edmonton, it wasn't Toronto. They all made reference to Kendrick and Drake's beef, some subtle, some not so subtle. Historically, hip hop has had its footprint in professional wrestling, everything from Hook's AEW theme song, but performed by Action Bronson, to guys like West Side Gun, Cameron, you got Wale, LL Cool J, Jadakiss and the Rough Riders. There have been numerous rap artists that have made songs dedicated to professional wrestlers. It's historic. I mean, the first crossover that I personally remember was Men on a Mission, Mo and Mabel in the WWF. And unfortunately, even though it was a complete caricature and it was cartoonish in nature, that was the first time I noticed rap kind of crossing over. And then there was also He In News, who was right around the time of Men on a Mission. He was in WCW. He later came back and worked in ECW as a part of the Baldies. New Jack, who came out to Natural Born Killers by Ice Cube and Dr. Dre, and that song would play throughout New Jack's matches. Um, so, there's been a lot of them, man. There's been so many references, so many crossovers. Obviously, there was Master P and the No Limit Soldiers in WCW. Lil Wayne just came out most recently and did a song for Jey Uso to come out to for WrestleMania 40. So the hip hop influence in professional wrestling goes back a long ways. And I could do a whole deep dive on it, but I just thought it was really interesting that CM Punk and Swerve Strickland decided to go that route with the references. CM Punk especially, because right now he is in the lead for Feud of the Year, in my opinion, with Drew McIntyre. And I think that if you looked at it, number 2 would be Kendrick Lamar and Drake, although they're making a case for number 1 with the amount of attention that they're getting. But I mean, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre haven't even gotten in the ring yet, and they're already the focal point of the WWE right now. They're basically carrying the Raw brand right now because there are no top programs to speak of as of yet. You're still waiting to see what's going to happen with Damian Priest's title run and who he's going to wrestle. So as of now, I would go with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre taking the top spot in the WWE and for Feud of the Year. Swerve, that reference was really hilarious because right after that, he got jumped by his team, the Mogul Embassy, and the Embassy line in the Kendrick Lamar song Meet the Grams stuck out to me. And I was like, wow, so not only is he openly referencing that Christian has some similarities to what Drake was depicted of in Kendrick Lamar's rap battles, about being a father to kids that aren't, actually being of having kids that aren't his, which is what Christian is kind of doing. He's fathering these fatherless kids or people or whatever. And also then you have the Embassy, who was his former stable, and they ended up jumping him. So I thought there was some nice little references there. Swerve being a rapper himself, I know that he probably took a lot of passion in trying to wove those storylines together to go with the overall theme of saying that. And maybe I'm reading too deep into it, but I thought it was interesting, because the Embassy is his stable, and then Kendrick is mentioning the embassy's about to get raided, so that's why I put that there. But it could be a reach. I do that often with rap battles. I'll reach, but I thought that was interesting. Also, I thought it was the right time to have the embassy jump Swerve, because it was like, you gotta, at some point you're going to have to make note of the fact that he did have this stable. He was a goblin. He was a heel, and they were not going to be faces anytime soon. And then you ran yourself into these situations where Brian Cage would come out with Prince Nana, and it was like, why? Why is he even doing this when he has a face? And it's very similar to what's going on with Will Ospreay and Don Callis. And I've spoken about that in videos previously about how I really feel like they need to tie up that loose end, because it's a huge gap in logic to see that going on. And even with Don Callis going after Orange Juice Cassidy, it still doesn't make sense to me why he would be aligning himself with Will Ospreay, other than the fact that he bought him out of his contract at NJPW, and he's trying to build his family up using him as the workhorse and giving everybody else a chance to pick up the pieces from what Will Ospreay does to some of those opponents, which they haven't even done. So, anyways, hip hop, it's a lot of it in wrestling right now. This is the first time I've seen an actual reference to a beef. I remember when Jay-Z and Nas had a beef for a while, and then back a couple of years after that, or a few years after that, it was Kanye West and 50 Cent, although that was not so much of a personal beef as it was just a publicized beef, and they were battling for the top spot in the album charts. I didn't really see any of those references. So this was actually kind of cool to see those references, to pick them up. It was nice that CM Punk on his Instagram, as shown in the video at the beginning, alluded to that and just basically said, "Hey, this is it. This is what I was going for in this promo. You weren't just reaching. So what do you guys think? Do you think I was reaching with the Swerve Embassy line, or do you think that that was a real solid reference to that beef, on top of him outright saying it? You guys let me know in the comments. Thank you all to my new subscribers. Thanks for following along. Much appreciated. The goal is to get to 1,000 followers. I'm not buying any followers. I'm not doing any shortcuts. I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. I like posting memes. I like talking about professional wrestling. That's what I'm here for. I'm Rob, the wrestling old head. Been doing this since I was 3 years old. Thought it would be nice to do this in a community where we can all talk about it and all have fun discussing professional wrestling, just for the love of it all. So, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all to my OG subscribers, my new subscribers. Follow along, and definitely stay tuned.